Welcome back, friends, to the Lucky Die. Previously, Balance gets a makeover, Rhal learns where Ama was keeping her secrets, and Zaltanna consoles her friends. After getting a glimpse into the past, knowledge is placed on the armor stand giving insight on the present, all whilst the group look forward to their uncertain future in Vanlas. In the Capital of the Dawn, they meet the half-orc leader of the Lodge, who may or may not have a solid lead on the next relic. Is Taylor's plan to help our brave adventurers just a chance dream? Is Damas as reliable as his sister? And will Rhal find the man he is looking for? I guess we're about to find out. Welcome back to the Lucky Die. Last time we had left you, you had just been introduced to Damas, who is a half-orc, leader of the Lodge, and also Demi's half-brother. What you guys want to do now? You are standing outside in the marshalling yard, in the practice yard. He's just yelled at these maggots to go do more practice, and they have obligingly gone and done so. And he's put his hand out, I believe, to one of you.
Balance would take that handshake.
Yeah. Handshake.
Put his hand out. Pleasure to meet you. My name is Balance.
Nice to meet you.
Yeah, Rhal rather confidently puts his hand out and gives a rather nice handshake. Because, I mean, if there's anything Rhal's used to, it's meeting a lot of people that are stronger than him.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, from you can tell that he's definitely holding back on his strength when he goes to shake your hands. I mean, you especially, Rhal, you would know that, particularly strong people are kind of sometimes delicate with their strength, and this guy clearly has control over his strength.
Well, I'm used to meeting this kind of person, so.
Yeah, exactly.
Zaltanna is gonna go for the full-on strong guy handshake. The swinging their arm around for the grip. The frat bro handshake. You know what I mean?
No, that's the Warriors handshake.
It's the frat bro handshake.
It's the, you grab each other like this and pull each other in sort of thing, you know?
Yeah, but that's also what frat bros do.
Okay, sure. You go for the frat bro hug.
Thank you.
Handshake thing.
Call it properly.
He seems to respond rather well to this, as if yeah, this is all right.
Well, nice to meet all of you. Guess I better get you up to speed. Go on through and get yourself settled down. There's my office around the little corner inside. You might want to get yourselves set up in there. I just need to speak to my little sister for a minute first.
And he puts his arm around her shoulder, and she looks comfortable. She looks happy enough.
Before we walk over, I want to give this guy a look over. Are there any similarities between this guy and the orcs we had met in the sewers?
Okay. I'm going to ask you 2 pointed questions. One, are you giving him a physical look over, or are you looking at him with your weird aura sight thing?
No, because the aura's not going to give me the physical description. That's the emotional state. I want to look at physical description, like eyes, bone structure, like how you can kind of look at someone and be like, oh, you look like your sister.
He looks very much like his sister. Well,
no, I'm not asking about the sister.
You may not take an investigation check or a perception, either or.
I will take an investigation because I want to look at the details.
Sure.
That was whispered to you by mistake, but that's a 16.
He looks very much like a half-orc. There doesn't appear to be any actual physical resemblance between him and the orc wizard / magic guy that you met down in the sewers, or any of the orc children that were with him. They don't look any familiar other than the fact that they have orc blood with them.
Okay. Because wasn't it the guy in the sewers was saying he was looking for a half-orc?
Yeah.
Correct.
Okay. I'll mention it to him later.
That's fine.
Listen, not to say that all half-orcs are the same, but when you're in a country where orcs and half-orcs are very rare...
Exactly.
Maybe.
It's not an unreasonable question to ask based on the fact that the orcs down in the sewers were looking for a half-orc, or looking for a half-orc tribe, so to speak.
All right. Balance goes.
Okay.
I follow.
16. No, you're going to think less than that, I don't think. No, I think you would, actually. Now you're on a 16. As you're looking him over to check out the physical structure, you notice that he actually has a rune fairly similar to the ones that you guys have over his heart, because he's shirtless and working out and doing all the stuff with the guys.
Hot.
But this rune is actually much different to yours. There is 2 circles on one side, a purple circle and a smaller green circle. There is a dark red line. There is a larger green circle and a smaller purple circle.
That's a lot of colored circles.
Yeah, that's a lot.
Yep. Purples and greens. So left side, large purple, small green. Right side, large green, small purple.
Small.
And connecting the two is a red line.
Yes, like
dividing the
two, like a divider line. There you go.
Purple.
Oh, it's like between the two. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to remember that. Can you write that down?
It's okay. You don't have to because I'm
Okay.
the only one that noticed it.
Okay, cool.
Correct.
Thank
That's true.
God. Because my brain is going, purple circle?
There's at least one circle.
There's
I
at
know
Zaltanna.
that.
least
angry.
single
Zaltanna,
circle.
smash. Not
Why aren't they-
understand, smash.
Why are there 2 circles? Why are there 4 circles? Wait, are there 8 circles? No, there's just 4 circles.
Me
So
cut
that's not
circles.
the timeline.
Why so many? Why circles? Why so many circles?
Make
They're
half
not
circle.
square. Anyway, this is what you notice about him. Are you guys just going to go straight to the place he indicated? Are you hanging about? Are you going to try and ask anything? Are you just going to meander to where you have been directed?
So the environment that we're around.
Yeah.
Are we like in a building? Are we outside?
You are currently in the kind of marshalling courtyard of the lodge.
Okay.
The lodge itself, as you kind of like walk out from like the tunnels that you were just in, from the corridors that you were just in, leading from the teleportation room that Demi brought you to. The building itself is pretty large. It's constructed of various wings. There are a couple of stories on some of them. It's a fairly old, well-constructed stone building.
Okay.
The environment itself is a little chillier than you're used to. Maybe not as chilly as maybe you're used to, Rhal, but it is a little chilly here. You can feel the winds. You'll probably estimate you guys are probably like, you're not at ground level. You're probably partway up a hill or a mountain.
Okay. Yeah. In that, I'll just go where we've been told to go.
Me too.
Same. Balance is probably going to be doing like little minor illusions. Taylor stayed with us, yeah?
Correct.
Yeah, he's just doing little minor illusions, playing with Taylor's past the time. They make like little illusionary stick figures have them sword fight with each other.
That is sickeningly adorable. I'm going to allow it. Okay, so with Balance and Talus making adorable little stick figures that fight one another with swords and magic, you guys make your way inside the building. The room that you are indicated to go into is pretty large. It looks less like a practice area, more of an official kind of meeting room, so to speak. There is a large table in the center. There are probably a dozen chairs seated around the edge. You can tell which one is obviously Damaz's because it's larger and sturdier than the rest, and at the head of the table. There's natural sunlight streaming through here. There are some plates of food. There are some beverages laid out for you guys should you wish to partake. Caden takes Talus to one side and they have a small conversation and they disappear out the room, and he just turns quickly and says, I'm gonna find someone who can keep an eye on Talus. I'll be back. And he goes off with his daughter. Currently with you there is Kythea. And I believe that's it. Oh, and your wolf. Where the hell is your wolf?
My wolf?
Oh yeah.
who I named Karuna, right?
Karuna.
Thank
Your
you.
unit, yes.
I completely forgot about my wolf. Holy shit. I was so excited about it. My brain is broken.
Where is your wolf? ... Oh yeah, the wolf is mine, huh?
My
You know
wolf,
that really
yes,
sick thing
that.
you got as a gift as from a god? What the fuck is it?
I'll take a gift from a god. Shit.
Shit, bro.
Actually, no, I like Marnak better.
Okay.
Marnak isn't cool like a wolf, though, so.
So
Marnak's
where is
better.
your wolf right now? 'Cause
My
I believe
wolf.
Your wolf came with.
I want to say that she's plodding along behind Zaltanna, like following her into the wherever they're going.
Okay.
Casey just made like pause, like walking.
Yep. Fantastic.
Good for an audio
Audio.
medium. Okay.
Audio media. Karina like plods her way in, has a good sniff around, a look around, and eventually goes to curl up by the fireplace, despite the fact there's no fire currently in it. She takes her place. The large, imposing wolf that she is.
Yes, I'm going to sit on Karuna.
I'm gonna sit on the opposite side of the room from that.
Oh,
Why do you hate my pet?
I don't hate it.
Her.
It's just unnecessary stress that might happen. I don't know. Rhal has
She is
never like been around wolves.
She is a good and sweet puppy, and you should respect
okay.
and love her.
She can be good and sweet over there.
Unless any of you wish to say or do anything, Caden will come back in a very short order. He finds someone to look after the little tailless. Kythea sits down next to Balance, and Caden will just sit somewhere roughly in the middle of the room. Unless you guys wish to say, ask, or do anything with either of these two, it's going to be nearly an hour and a half before Demi and Damas come back.
Ooh.
At some point during that wait period, Balance wants to do two things. One, Balance wants to talk to Kythea about the intricacies of cooking. Because while we can't practice the cooking right now, Balance is very good at taking instructions from people and dedicating them to memory.
Okay.
So he wants to do that.
Sure. I mean, if you... Well, the secret about a good porridge is that you make sure you do it with the freshest milk. Make sure it has a little bit of skim of fat on the top. Don't get it too hot. Don't burn the milk. Sounds odd, but don't burn the milk.
You can burn milk?
Oh, yeah. Yes, you can. You really don't know anything about cooking, do you?
I feel like every time you ask me that, it just knocks me down a little bit.
Well, all right. And what's the other thing you want to do?
The other thing is after that discussion, however long that ends up taking, is Balance is going to stand up. He's probably getting a little impatient, being that we're kind of on a deadline. An invisible deadline, but a deadline nonetheless. And he probably, after probably like half an hour or so, goes over to Rhal and says, Rhal, while we're waiting, would you like to, get an education yourself?
Education on what?
Well, I've been fighting alongside you now for a little bit, and it seems that your punches and kicks may be good, but it may be helpful for you to know how to wield a blade.
Oh. Is this the place to be swinging a sword badly?
Well, you've got two skilled swordsmen here, so I'm not really worried about it. Kythea, are you a swordsman? Or?
She shakes her head.
Well, you've got me and Zaltanna here, at least, anyway, and Caden came back, right?
Yeah, Caden's
Well, you've got three swordsmen, then I would be willing to share.
Believe in
also
yourself, Rhal.
Also, might point out that you're actually in the lodge where they train martial people.
I don't think anybody would walk in here and go, what the fuck are you doing, but...
I mean, we're kind of in this man's office.
Well, let's begin, and, I'm not going to start hacking and slashing and everything, just want to show you the basics.
Okay.
You have to take baby steps.
The
I just
key,
don't want to drop it on anything nice,
the key to stabbing someone is to have fun and be yourself.
Oh, wow.
Rhal, I want to try something here, all right? And you tell me what I need to do.
Sure.
I want to use my new focus, my mantle of leadership focus,
Huh?
And I want to use it to, like, kind of give Rhal, like, a bit of a boost, like a self-confidence boost. So he's like, yeah, why not? I can do this, you know? Like a pep talk. I'm giving him a pep talk right now.
A confident Rhal is very confusing to me. I can't picture it.
He's just scared to throw the sword across the room into this man's furniture. He's cool with learning swords.
I don't want to make you roll anything. I don't want you to use abilities on each other because changing his outlook on life is rough. If you're going to give him a pep talk, give him a pep talk.
All right, well, for flavor, I'm doing that. All right? I'm doing the mantle of leadership thing.
Okay.
Which, for the listeners, while focused on this discipline, I gain a bonus to charisma checks equal to half of my intelligence modifier, which is currently a +2 then.
Ooh, you're so smart.
Is that something that Rhal would like notice that you're doing?
I'm literally giving you a pep talk.
Yeah, so it'll be nothing out of...
I'm going to do it right now. You ready?
Okay.
All right, brace yourself. Rhal, listen, you're already a skilled fighter. I've seen you fighting these creatures we've encountered. The rock spiders, you were able to pound that one into the floor, as if it were nothing more than an alarm clock. I don't know what that is, but nonetheless. When we were fighting in the subterranean area, when we were dealing with the armored figures, the things that we were doing the trials for, you were able to dropkick the one out of the ring. It was fantastic, really. You have the skills, you just lack the confidence to apply them properly. If you allow myself and Zaltanna and Caden to teach you to wield a sword, I have no doubt that you could probably be as skilled, if not better, of a swordsman than any of us.
Well,
Zaltanna.
I always wanted to learn. But
no time like the present, then, and Balance is going to draw one of his 2 short swords and hands it handle first to Rhal.
Okay. Balance.
Yes?
I want you to roll a charisma check for me.
All right, and I get
You can add that intellect thing to it, sure.
All right, so I get a +2 on it.
Yep. The DC is 16.
It's a 12. So that's a no. Unless it's a persuasion.
It's definitely not a persuasion. Not for what I was thinking.
Damn. All right.
All right. I assume you guys spend some montage time learning how to fight with a sword. Montage. Okay. Montage.
Just showing Rhal the proper steps, proper foot position,
Okay.
how to hold the blade. Not like how to swing it or anything yet, just the fundamentals,
The unbelievably fundamentals of how to hold the sword, which we actually have already discussed. Rhal doesn't know how to do. So, all right,
exactly.
We go through the absolute basics of teaching Rhal how to hold a sword. Everyone gets in there, gives you a little piece of advice. Caden drops something in. I assume Zaltanna. Well, to be fair, Zaltanna told you to be yourself and have fun. So I think that's probably the best.
The key to stabbing, the key to murder, is to have fun and be yourself.
Okay. So you get that wonderful piece of inspiration.
I'll take that advice.
Literal value.
Yeah. Caden tells you to focus on it becoming a part of you rather than it just being a tool. So everyone gives you a little bit of help, guided mostly by Balance. Is this what you guys are going to spend an hour and a half doing?
Yes.
You don't have to, by the way. You can continue. You can look around and meander. If you wish to stay here for an hour and a half, that makes my job a lot easier. But if you wish to be impatient, leave. That's fine.
We're waiting for this guy, so.
Okay. I am very happy with this. This is very cool.
Might as well use the time wisely.
Exactly. This is excellent. Okay. About an hour and a half later. I need to know which aura, which focus do you have active at the moment, Balance?
Probably keeping the leadership one on, aiding in the instructing of Rhal.
About an hour and a half after you enter this room, you hear the approach of Damaz and the very quick, light footfalls of Demi as they come into this office.
And see us sword fighting.
They see you sword fighting.
Or practicing.
Damaz is like,
what the bloody hell is going on here?
And Demi's like, well, clearly they're fighting. What are you doing? Why are you fighting in my brother's office?
We're not real fighting.
No, my apologies. We were simply using the very long period of time we were kept waiting to instruct Rhal on the use of a sword.
I feel like you're trying to insult us or have a go at us about something, but I don't think it's really important right now because Damas has some really good news and we did a thing and it was great and I feel so much better. Okay, so yes, Damas has, and you just hit.
Demi, why don't you just sit down?
Almost reluctantly, she sits down with her head bowed just a little bit. As Damas actually just sits at the other end of the table. He doesn't sit in his normal chair, he just sits on the chair nearest to the door and he gestures for the rest of you to sit.
Balance sits next to Kythea after retrieving his sword from Rhal.
Yeah.
Zaltanna sits on Karuna.
Is Karuna by the fire?
Yes.
Are you guiding her to be closer to this conversation?
Yes. I'm like, I whistle for her, but I literally can't whistle like as a human. Like I can, but it sounds like bombs dropping, according to my dad. So he's like, every time you whistle, it sounds like a bomb dropping, Casey. Don't do it.
That's an interesting phrase. We'll go with that. Okay, so do you bring her down like towards the other end of the table where everyone else is?
Yeah.
I'm just trying to get an idea of where everyone is. Okay.
Yes, that is exactly what I'm doing.
Excellent.
Who's that?
I don't know. Sometimes I do a Russian accent when I'm tired. Ignore me.
We will. I love you. All right, so Damas sits down and he waits for the rest of you to sit. Caden sits down. I assume Rhal's going to be with him. Balance is sitting down next to Kythea.
Yep.
Demi is sort of just like sitting on the edge of the table next to her brother. And obviously, and then Karuna with her companion rides down to the rest of the table.
I want to just sit her right down right next to Kythea.
That's something you can definitely do. Okay. Damas looks around at you all and he says,
My sister here tells me you're all involved in saving us from an apocalypse. I always thought that was more of a definitive.
That is correct.
Apparently.
She also told me about some hammer. Now, that rings a bell, as does this rather concerning report about this new thing going on down in the fourfold. There's a lot of stuff going on down there in the Dawn that, well, frankly, it's a bloody nuisance and a big problem. So we got a few things we got to go through.
Mm-hmm.
First of all, let's do the thing that's immediate, this hammer thing. I think it might be one of those relics you were talking about. Problem is, this hammer is also related to the fourfold.
Kesa's hammer?
Yeah, there's a phrase from the fourfold. Do any of you actually know about the fourfold? Its relation to the lodge?
Balance looks at Rhal.
Zaltanna also looks at Rhal.
Caden looks at Rhal.
Karuna also looks at Rhal.
Oh my god.
Oh my gosh.
Nervous. I know a little. I never really focused on those things, but I know a little.
Excuse me for asking, but are you involved with the fourfold?
Yes. Was. At one point.
You see the siblings kind of share a glance with each other. And for those of you who are practiced in magics or even seeing this sort of thing, they're definitely exchanging a message. And Damas looks back with a kind of shrug and looks over and it's like,
Gods below. You're probably best off not mentioning that while you're here.
I know.
But you could actually be of some use.
I figured that's why I let you know. Honesty,
Honestly, here, in this room is good. With these people, but outside these walls, well, Dawn's pretty harsh. Fair, but harsh. At least that's what Mum used to say.
We've learned firsthand.
So, Kesa, the tournament, is it here?
That's the thing. I don't know. The lodge, well, it started off as Kesa's pet project, training people how to be ready for when the big fight comes, the big world-ending fight. The times we find ourselves in now, maybe. But the lodge ended up going a different way than she envisioned. It became more using our skills to help people, in the here and now. If you got the skills to help, you should. It's the right thing to do. However, she didn't like how profitable it was, and she set up the fourfold itself. Now, the thing is, it's a part of the lodge, I can't get involved. And I can't send any of my people in there because I don't want to lose them. And I don't want the fourfold to know that we're investigating them. Now, you've already got ties to the fourfold there. And you're dead men walking, according to Demi. Am I right?
Something like that.
Great. This can work in our favour. You go and investigate the fourfold. You find out what's going on with the hammer. And hopefully you can use it, to finish off whatever it was that she said. I don't understand it, frankly.
Did you see Demi just roll her eyes?
Shit. Okay.
Now, the thing is, I'd usually be able to give you a description of what the hammer looks like. But unfortunately, most of the replicas, they've been nicked. Passing the time, you know what it is. Can't tell you exactly what it looks like. Nor have you even found the right person, Only that her name is Kesa, and she has a big fucking hammer. Also, don't know where it is. I've tried looking. But there's only so far the leader of the lodge can really go when you're looking into the fourfold.
I know that there is supposed to be a tournament and that Kesa is supposed to be competing. I don't know where.
Oh.
That is the rumor. Up in Fossum, they were preparing for it. I guess today, recently. They have all started, getting ready to compete. It is kind of big news for them down there. That's all I know.
Well, with this apocalypse looming, this hammer, Kesa, the big fights, it's probably all coming to something. Gods alone know what. It's not my place to ask. Well, there is that piece we need to talk about. But there's also something else. I've had confirmation from a source of mine about a rumour we've been hearing. They used a wizard to send me a message. My friend Squash, who's currently in Chatlock, said there's a passing portal there, and that there are infernals spilling out of it into the streets. He mentioned some strange little gnome, claimed he knows how to close them, but, he's going to need help. That's my concern there, getting that closed. Demi explained to me what these passing portal thingies are, but wherever they are, they don't sound good. But it seems, according to my source, this guy, he knows how to close them. And if we can get the information, and if it checks out, I reckon the lodge will be able to close them all down. I've got a feeling there's going to be some more coming. While you guys go and search for these relics, we can see about the lodge getting those things closed.
So then what you're saying is the most important thing right now is going to Chatvac and getting the information out of that gnome.
That's what Torm and my gut say. But this is going to be entirely up to you if not. I got your friend Kythia here and she can help me with Kesa if you're going through. Might be able to get some information to start you off. Or she can go to Chadvoka and take Caden with her.
Here is the deal. My name and presence, and he kind of gestures to himself, might be known in the fourfold. So the least time we spend there, the better. It would probably be best if we just tried to get some quick information, bring back, and then focus on Shatvak. Maybe figure out when the tournament is, and then we could try to find Kesa after doing Shatvak.
The portal is definitely a major concern. It actually lines up with the information we got from that angel.
Chained Angel, right, said something about Savras having snuffed it.
Right, and that the portal itself needs to be closed or else celestials and undead and fiends and whatnot are going to continue to pour through.
We need to go to Chatvac.
I mean, let's put it like this. There's two things you can do there. You can get one group to focus on one thing, the other on the other. The lodge can't close both these things out. Limited resources here, and I'm bound by the fact we're in the dawn. But you guys, not so much.
I have a reason to want to kind of make my presence known anyways. The fourfold would be the place to do it. We will go down there, ask about the tournament, bring you news, and then you can take that from there while we go to see Chatvak. Does that sound like a plan?
Yeah, sounds like a reasonable plan. How about this? I'll give you till noon tomorrow. See about making your passage to Chatwalk a little quicker. I'll arrange some boats to get you downriver.
All right, then let's go. And Zaltanna stands up.
At this point, you hear a knocking on the door, and you see an elderly halfling walk in. He's wearing gold. He's wearing a purple and gold livery. Please say I'm right saying that's the right word. He's wearing a purple and gold tabard. Nailed it. And they appear to be a messenger. And in front of them, you can see that they are holding a purple and gold letter, which they hand over to Damaz. He nods and thanks, and the messenger turns to go away and then looks back at Demi, hands her another one. Anyone who's looking at this exchange, make a perception check or an investigation or whatever you think you can argue.
22 investigation.
Could I argue an insight to not figure out about the letters themselves, but figure out if these are expected, or just kind of see a reaction to Demi getting a letter as well?
Yes, sure. You can do reactions.
Oh, then I'm going to do the same thing. And that is a 5 on my part.
It's an 11 on mine.
On a 5, you don't really notice much about their reactions other than that they take the letters. On an 11, rightly so, Demi looks a little bit confused, but it's maybe she was expected after all, right? I mean, it's not that much of a stretch.
Yeah. Okay.
On a 22, you notice that this is an exceptionally ornate letter. It is... The gold on it creates a flowing names. They are Demetria Bloodhorn and Damaz Bloodhorn, respectively. You notice that there is a magical rune imbued into the gold wax seal. And you notice that the letters GDC are upon it. Take a history check for me, Balance.
Sure. Non-natural 20.
Ooh.
You have seen letters like this before. You've seen letters like this before being delivered to your aunt at one point. And you don't know, you're not 100% sure on what the initials stand for, but the Gentleman's Dueling Club is something that rings a bell. It's one of those quieter societies that are kind of everywhere, but try not to get themselves noticed too much.
Gentleman's what?
Dueling Club. Duelling.
Okay. Balance is going to switch to his aura sight focus, and he's going to watch the two of them very intently.
Take an insight check for me.
While they're reading the letter.
Okay. Yeah, they do in fact just Damaz pops his open, Demi just looks over his shoulder. You kind of get the impression just by looking at them, they believe they're the same letter.
12 insight.
Can you see auras?
Not unless I use the actual.
Oh no, yeah, you're in.
This was just the advantage on insight thing.
Yeah. He doesn't seem.
God, you always forget my abilities.
Well, dude, you're playing a really random class.
I know.
You notice that he doesn't seem too worried about it. Like, he's very dismissive of the letter itself. Like, yeah, whatever. He's clearly not intending to do whatever this letter or take any real note of it. Demi, however, has a bit more of a curious expression about it. And she takes the letter from him and reads it more intently. And she's a little surprised, if nothing else. But that's kind of about it, really. Demi looks up and is like, really sorry. Sometimes these letters find us in the right places. Sometimes they don't. I mean, they always try to send them to either one or both of us because they know eventually I'll get it. They know that I'm going to get it because, I can be found everywhere. Or they'll go to Damaz and Damaz will send it to me. Or he'll let me know. They know these things. They're really clever like that. Anyway.
Anything to be concerned about?
Well, frankly, it's actually more just like a party, like a dinner party where some of the very I know who you are. You should know what this is. I mean, some of the very powerfully connected people should be there. We're talking about debates, like what we're doing in politics and what about the future. And the fact that the apocalypse has now started, I mean, that people are very, very concerned. I mean, not just the fact that the apocalypse is coming, but how this leaves like all the power vacuum and stuff and like deciding new laws and how things are going to work. So yeah, just a little party, just a little get together, random people.
With random people or with people of royalty?
Well, not exactly random people who actually are powerful. I mean, they don't necessarily be royalty. I mean, royalty are powerful people that don't necessarily be there. I don't think, I don't think the queens would go there personally. I mean, I know Apella isn't going to go. Well, to be fair, Apella isn't even invited into this thing. She's smart, but not that kind of level of smart like we are.
Balance smiles.
I mean, if you're looking for the fact your art might be there, I don't think so.
No, I'm just more curious. If anything, it may be more beneficial if one or both of you went.
Really? I'm going to get it explained. And then Dan was like,
Hey, what's this all about?
Well, I mean, in my mind, if there are powerful/influential people together at a party, it's probably a good place to attempt to get some information. I mean, we're trying to find relics, and for all we know, some of these relics could be in the hands of some very powerful people. We've already found out that one is likely in the hands of a very powerful person running the fourfold. Who's to say that someone else doesn't have another item as well?
that's true. I mean, yes. I mean, we could go. I mean, we were allowed to take +1, so we could take, two of you? I mean, that's actually not going to be helpful. I mean, we could take some of you.
With all due respect, I don't think it would be a good idea if I went.
Me neither.
I want to go. I love patties.
Zaltanna, you could be my +1. This will be the greatest thing ever.
Oh my God, Demi. We're going to have so much fun.
Exactly. Well, it's and then you see like Dam has just like put a hand on her shoulder, like,
Calm down, Demi. Won't do any good like this.
No, I'm going to calm down. This is going to be the greatest thing ever. I can take Zaltanna, and then we can go and learn things. I mean, people will be like really confused as to why I have a paladin of Tyr here, but they'll be like, oh, well, she's obviously with Demi for a reason, and then we can try and like get some information out of them. This is actually a very clever plan. I actually kind of like this. We should totally do this. Well, the thing is, it's not for another month, and the like specific location hasn't actually been set yet, so we have time.
And we have time to plan.
Exactly, we have plenty of time.
That works. I'm so down. I'll find a dress and everything if I need to.
That sounds great. I think blue.
Blue?
Yep.
Why
I'm
blue?
going to be red, obviously, because I'm red.
Okay.
Red.
Yeah, makes
blue
sense.
Red. They
Makes
look really
sense.
good.
All right, blue dress. Got it. Like, I'll find one.
Can we just get on with this? All right. I don't even know where to start with finding Kesa, nor how to find the fourfold. I've got no solid lead. My protege, so to speak, might have had a handle on where you could start, but he's stuck in Chatbot. It's too long a trip to get back there and help with this.
Ooh, another reason to get to Chatfuck as fast as possible.
Is there any way to get word to this person, maybe with a messaging spell or a sending?
Oh, yeah. You can do sending, can't you, sis?
And you see them share a look. It's not like a straight up just like teasing, laughing each other look. There is something else there too, but it's not easily read. And you see her smile like sarcastically at him. Well, I can send a message. I mean, well, I don't know exactly what Squash looks like, but I have an idea of who he is. Oh, that reminds me, actually, there are things that Kythea made for Squash. And you see Kythea pull out a potion, slide across the table, give it to Damas. Okay, so yeah, I can send him a message. I mean, okay, all right, so we have to be very, very careful, like how many words we use for this. So just tell me what we want to ask him.
I feel like it should be pretty simple. Something along the lines of, where is the fourfold, or who can we speak to find it?
Okay, 1 minute. You see her stand up, you see her put hands together, and you see that nervous tension she has just completely melt away, and she goes very still. And you see her eyes kind of roll back into her head a little bit, and her eyes then sort of like begin to flash, kind of purplish. And then it closes out again. Well, okay, so he says that the place we want to search is actually a temple, a church. He said that's probably the place that he's seen most people going in and out of when he thinks that they're a part of the fourfold. I mean, he wouldn't admit to being like anywhere near that kind of stuff, but he apparently knows some things about some things. So he apparently says maybe you want to start with the temple. The temple is probably the best place to start.
What temple?
Not the temple. Yeah.
I'm not.
I mean, there's
familiar.
only one temple here, right, bruv?
There's a church here. To the Triad.
They are under the church?
Zaltanna looks very angry.
Well, Well, I can only pass on the information that he gave me, okay? And he just said, hey, look, you go. Actually, it's not exactly how I said it. He was actually like way more grumpier than that. He seems like a very grumpy fellow. He's not a very trustworthy fellow from what I picked up.
Got it. All right. Thank you, Demi. Let's go beat the fuck out of these people using the church.
Let's not lead with beating the shit out of people. That's not...
No.
That's the last thing you want to do.
Zaltanna,
Maybe let me and Rhal lead the charge on this one?
let me lead. You both stay back and act like you don't know me. We need to talk. We will meet back here later.
Who are you?
And I'm going to start leaving the room.
What are we going with him or not then? I don't...
You are coming, yes. We will
okay.
We will meet back later with them to discuss the things that we find out.
Zaltanna, you may want to leave the wolf here?
Zaltanna looks at Karuna and then back at you and then back at Karuna. And then she shrugs and she goes, all right, Karuna. Sit, girl. All right, Karuna. Stay. And then she gives her pats. And then she follows, I guess. Okay.
As we're walking out, Balance is going to telepathically say to Kythea, do you know how to make dog food? And then just a little telepathic laugh.
Oh my god.
Hey, Kythea, take care of my dog.
Yeah. Sure, not a problem. And she looks down at the... you just hear, you for those of you who may be looking back, fuck it. The audience are looking back. You see Kythea looking down at Karuna, and Karuna looks up and is like... And then like Kythea like, puts her hand out and is like, it's okay. I know how to make like steak food for you. And you just see like the wolf just like begin to lick her hand.
I thought that Karuna was big. Like,
oh yeah.
She's big.
Yes.
Freaking huge, dude.
Are you saying that big dogs can't show affection?
No, I was saying, why is she looking down at my giant dog?
Because it's laying on the floor?
Oh,
Yeah.
fair.
It's still a dog. It's not a horse. It's still a dog. It's just a very big dog.
Oh, I'm just imagining like a giant ass dog, like Clifford.
It is a giant ass dog. But it's...
Oh my god.
Clifford's bigger than a house.
That's gonna get cut.
Jesus.
Sorry.
All right. So the three of you leave.
Yeah.
You leave Kythea and Demi and Damaz and Caden behind as you guys make your way out into the streets. Is there anything you want to say or look around before you leave?
Rhal is kind of like anxiously walking, kind of like trying to get shit done.
No.
Like he has a mission now. Like, and he's like trying to talk to you guys as he's like walking in front of you. So I have a thing to do. Now we have limited time because he kind of turns to Zaltanna because I know we need to get to Shatvok.
Thank you.
Quickly. I have something that kind of lines up with this. I need to find the man with one arm. We need to figure out the things with Kesa. And well, this is not going to be very fun for me. But I have a lot to do in a very short time. I have a lot of things to ask someone, if I can find them. Someone who's probably not going to be very fond of me being around. Mm-hmm. So you guys should probably stay back a ways. And
Rhal, just spit it out. What do you got to do?
The man with one arm,
Mm-hmm.
the vision that you saw,
Mm-hmm.
that was his son. And he left the day that Ama,
Oh,
so you think he... Okay.
Belgrim insists it's a small lead, but it sounds like a big lead to me. I don't know why it would be a small lead. But I intend on confronting him.
Oh, I'm coming with you.
Just questions.
I don't care. I will be there as backup. You never go to listen, unless you're a dumbass like me, you don't go to question someone without backup.
And in any other case, if you have any questions, you can feed them to me and I can, I think I can improve on what I did last time with the fake Caden. I think this time it'll be a little bit different.
We will have to see the circumstances. I don't know how dangerous it's going to be, but those are my intentions anyways. I don't know how to find him.
How dangerous it's going to be. You know we just went through hell, right? Like, you think one-armed person is going to be more of a threat to us than stone monsters?
No, but all of his friends at the Fourfold might.
Yeah.
That is my
I
concern.
don't know. I'm not concerned.
Okay, well, I am. So,
That's what you do, Rhal.
it is well within reason for me to worry about my friends dying.
Well, just the same, let us worry about you then.
I will not see any more of my friends die before I do. Let's go.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh my God.
What?
Nothing.
Okay. Do you know where to start looking?
The temple? Let's go to the Fourfold.
For the one-armed guy?
He was a gambler.
Oh,
Fucking
okay.
Asshole gamblers and
Fourfold is
Fucking
kind of popping off right now. So.
bullshit using my god's temple. I'm
Well, it's a shared temple.
yeah.
It's more like a door, probably.
Yeah, I know.
They're not fighting in the temple.
They using our grounds.
Ugh, boo-hoo.
As you guys step out of the lodge proper, you find yourself in a very large town. Looking around, you are slightly elevated, so you can see a lot of the town. You can see that it's comprised of wooden log homes. You can see that there are some stone buildings here, and they seem to be the more important ones, the temple, the lodge that you're standing at. Another one off into the far distance. There is also kind of... you also see that there is a newly constructed stone building, a very large, squarish building, very, very long. You see that there are quite a few guards that walk in pairs, neatly armored, neatly groomed, very careful, very much on the lookout, walking around in pairs. You can see them walking their patrols around this place. You get the sense, now you're here properly out in the open, that it's just damp in the air. It's just always that kind of damp feeling. You look up to one side, you can see that there is a mountain which seems to encase, fold around half of this city itself. And looking off to the other side, you can see it opens out onto plains. You can see the river that Dam has mentioned before. It cuts partway through the city as it comes down from a waterfall and goes out across this long grassy expanse off to one side. You can see that this large city, although well built in places, stone structures, wooden cabins, you also notice that there are, from where you stand, obviously an area of slum. A place where the houses have fallen down. They're not well constructed from wood. They are constructed from odd bits of plank, whatever they could find to hold things up. You can see a lot of cloth over in that area of the city. Sad to say, probably almost a good third of this city is in that way. This is what you guys see when you walk out into Vanlas.
Rhal is initially pretty nervous going out, and then after a couple minutes, he's kind of like looking around pretty curiously. He's very amused by everything.
Take a perception check for me.
19.
You can tell that the guards do or walk orderly patrols. There are places that they are clearly not patrolling as heavily. Something missed in their patrols, mostly the slum area. You can tell that there are a lot of humans and halflings here. There are no elves, no dwarves that you can see. The three of you stick out like a sore thumb. And you see a lot of people shooting you odd looks, but they don't seem massively hostile, just intrigued. Some of them are, not gonna lie, uncomfortable with the three of you standing there, but most people, for the by and part, just give you a casual look. What the hell is that? And then move on.
Look, Mother, there's a strange one over there. Don't look them in the eyes, Jimmy.
The sun is behind clouds currently. It's not exactly raining. It's just a kind of like drizzle. Maybe it's coming from the waterfall. Maybe it's not. It's just horrible here. You would expect it to be almost midday.
Best thing to do is probably just ask somebody where this temple is then.
Okay.
Mantle of leadership focus on, just to be safe. Balance just finds a random passerby, someone that hasn't given us a bad look, and says, "Pardon me, we're new in town and we're looking for the temple. Could you direct us?"
Oh, yes, of course. This woman, this human woman, points off to one of the larger stone buildings. If you're looking for the temple, this is the Temple of the Triad. It's mostly devoted to Torm, thanks to the leader of the lodge here, but there are smaller ones to Tyr and Ilmater within.
Well, thank you very much. It's greatly appreciated. My smaller friend here is a devout worshipper, and we wish to see the temple while we were here.
Of course. Good greetings. And she turns and walks away.
Okay.
Good greetings. Is that, I'll have to see about that.
About what?
Well, depending on where you go, there are certain proper greetings and farewells you give. It really depends on the culture.
God, you're so proper.
You know, never mind. This is the worst place to talk about it.
Yeah, you want to go on with that?
No.
She raises an eyebrow at you and like smirks.
Balance just shakes his head and starts walking off in the direction of the temple.
As you make your way towards the temple, you walk across cobblestones. As you kind of look around, everything here, it's fairly apparent. Some of the nicer parts of this place is fairly new. I mean, looks like the cobblestones have been laid fairly recently, a major project, but one that's been done. You see that there are walls around the city as you kind of make your way towards the temple itself, and they seem to also be fairly newish built, probably at least within the last 10 years sort of thing. And you pass the large stone rectangleish building that I mentioned before. And there appear to be a lot of people going in and out and talking. And as you kind of like walk past, you glance in and see that there is just a very large room in there with a very long table on it. And you finally make your way to this temple. The temple itself is old. It's very, very old. It's obviously at some point been dedicated to mostly Ilmater at one point and then has recently been switched over to Torm. But this isn't completely unusual in any of these Triad temples. It's a very large building. It has many, as the temple that you're used to yourself, Zaltanna being, there are 4 wings. There is an entrance wing, and then there are the 3 other wings, one devoted to each of the gods themselves. There is a large central chamber, and that is 2 stories high, but isn't consistent with 2 stories. It's just very, very high ceilinged. There is an iron fence around this, and you see that there are numerous gravestones sort of dotted here, there, and everywhere.
Can I, as we're walking around and seeing things, be looking for the fourfold symbol etched on anything?
Of course. Make a perception roll. Actually, stop. On your way there, you don't notice any. Because there aren't.
Okay.
But you have arrived at this temple. Let's say you're at the edge of this temple. The grounds itself is pretty large. There are a lot of lush green, like plants and flowers and trees, like dotted amongst all of these tombstones.
Balance is going to gather the group together somewhere where no one's going to hear us talking. Maybe somewhere like an alley across from the temple.
Sure, you can absolutely do that. You find yourself between a baker's and an inn. Why not?
And in the mental link, so nobody overhears what we're saying, Balance is going to say, all right, how are we going to do this? We could do an old one that me and my mentor used to do, where we wait for someone that doesn't look appropriate for the setting, walks in, and tail them. Simple stuff, really.
Zaltanna?
Yeah?
Why don't you go pray so that we don't look like we are just out looking for things? It looks like we have some kind of purpose to be here. You can stay outside and watch, and I will do what I do best and stick my nose places.
I'm sorry, did you say that was something you do best?
You know, look around, be curious.
Are you sure that's wise?
Are you sure that's what you do best? I thought that's what Balance does best.
It was my job.
Different kind of thing, okay?
Are you sure you don't just want to stick with me? We can let Zaltanna go in and then we can just maintain the mental link.
Outside just watching people?
Well, yes, the whole point is you stand about and make it look like you're doing whatever it is. I suppose we could grab a bite from the baker here and then...
Well, I mean, my point was one of us was going to watch and one of us was going to poke around. You want to poke around, I
Right,
can
but
watch.
then if you get...
If you're better at poking around, you can poke around and I will watch.
Nobody should be poking around.
As you guys are arguing, Zaltanna has already walked over to where the thing for Tyr is and is kneeling.
Okay.
So you're gone in the building.
Yeah.
We're across the street.
Zaltanna has made the executive decision to walk into the temple.
Yes.
This is why D&D plans never work. Because there's always the one.
It never works. You walk onto the grounds of this temple. As soon as you get there, it's a familiar feeling.
Mm-hmm.
It's the temple. It's the temple of the Triad. Even Torm is an entity that you're aware of, fairly comfortable with. You make your way along the pathway and you enter the building proper. Inside, it is quiet, not spookily quiet, not library. You shouldn't disturb the peace kind of quiet. Just, I guess, serene is probably the correct word. And as you enter, you see that there are people wearing the robes of Ilmater. You see them wearing the armor of Torm. And you see some of them walking around wearing the robes of Tyr. And they seem to be happily walking around, talking with one of them. Some of them are sparring. Some of them are practicing in the central courtyard. In the kind of like the large central chamber itself. And you see that there is a very large shrine dedicated to Torm. And two smaller shrines, one to the left, one to the right of Tyr, and one for Ilmater.
Zaltanna is going to smile because this is all very familiar to her. And she's going to walk over to the shrine of Tyr while nodding at anybody who looks at her. You know, like she walks in like she belongs because she once did belong to a temple much like this. So, she looks like she knows exactly what she's doing, and she walks over to the temple of Tyr, or the shrine of Tyr, rather.
Okay. Are you doing anything particular whilst you're here? Are you looking for things? Are you praying? Are you deceiving them that, well, you're not even deceiving them. You are a follower of Tyr.
Yeah. She's praying and also keeping a watchful eye out. She's going to do some due diligence, keeping a watchful eye out. For anything weird or out of the ordinary.
Important question, Rhal. Did you tell the other two what the symbol of the fourfold looks like?
No.
Okay.
I haven't, so.
It's okay. It's okay. In that case, Zaltanna, make a perception check for me.
Yep. Ooh. That is a natural 20.
For a grand total of 20.
Yes. Thank you.
Okay. You look around this room. You pray to Tyr for... You clearly pray to Tyr for some sort of guidance, and he gives you with a natural 20. Motherfucker.
Give me a sign. Here's a sign that says, here's the fourfold.
Yeah, kind of. You look around this particular room, you see that there are a lot of people moving in and out. Some of them are devout followers, some of them are monks, paladins, clerics, people you're used to seeing in this sort of environment. You also see there are a couple of people genuinely coming in to pray. Young children, older adults, that sort of thing. People who have the time to be here. And then you kind of like begin to have a bit more of a look around, and you notice that there are some people here who, especially some of the kind of like younger looking monks, younger looking clerics, seem to be sporting bruises that you would never have really received in this kind of training that they get. These sort of things would have been healed over fairly quickly, but these clearly weren't earned the normal way. And you kind of like look at them around and you realize that, okay, that's clearly not a devout person of Ilmater. That's not how they wear those robes. You kind of look around a bit more and you spot those odd few. And you see them moving through the temple, moving to the back of the temple, past the statue of Torm into one of the back wings. This is what you spot. Let's go back to the bakery. What are you two up to?
Still arguing.
Well, no, Rhal, see, what's supposed to happen
shit,
is...
she went in. Okay. Well, we need to do a plan now. So, do you want to ask people? You want to watch? Plan. Go.
Well, are we going to follow my plan, or are you going to argue with me again?
What is your plan?
My plan is that we watch for somebody that looks like they don't belong in a church, follow them and see where they go.
Have a mental link.
Zaltanna just like in her mind at this point just goes, okay, yo, dumbass.
Yes.
I already found it. In the time it's taking you to argue, I found the fucking thing.
Oh, look, we did not even need to worry that much. Okay. Good job. Let's go.
Okay, we'll go then.
And we go in the temple.
Okay. The three
Definitely
of you
not going to draw attention to ourselves at all. Nope. An elf and a dragonborn.
Yep, the three of you meet up inside the temple. It's fairly obvious that individually you would stand out like sore thumbs. Now you just stand out like an array of sore thumbs, made worse by the fact that you have 3 thumbs, not 2.
I want to clarify that Zaltanna is still by the tier thing. She's not coming in with the guys. She was talking through her mental link.
No, that's fine. I mean, are you 3 meeting up or are you staying separate?
I don't know what they're doing. Zaltanna's going to stay by where she is.
I'll walk in and look around, I guess, because I don't know where to go.
And when you do that, Zaltanna says, go to Ilmaida.
Okay.
Ilmater.
That's not where it is, but Rhal, go to Ilmaida.
Okay.
Balance.
Yes.
Use your inquisitive nature.
I'm quite good at that.
And go over to Tom. You'll see. I think you'll see what I'm talking about.
Sure. All right, so I guess we then go our 3 separate ways.
Okay. Rhal, what are you doing at the Shrine of Ilmater?
I'm gonna go through the motions of praying, kind of just look over to Zaltanna like I don't...
Zaltanna's not even looking at you.
All right,
She
so
wants me
you
to pray.
stand there awkwardly figuring out what the hell is going on.
You have a connection with Ilmaida. Don't forget. You're in a temple dedicated to Ilmaida. You might as well try to make a
I
connection.
know, but Rhal has like mixed feelings about it. He'll probably sit there for a minute and then, seeing that Zaltanna's not really acknowledging anything, just give it a shot, because that's really the only thing that he can deduce that he needs to be doing. I guess he'll pray. We're in the temple. She told me to go to Ilmater.
A religion check at disadvantage?
Okay.
Let's see what happens.
Religion at disadvantage.
Yeah, I have an idea.
10.
That idea was shot to pieces.
Aww.
I'm sorry. You close your eyes, or you focus yourself in that kind of meditative way you were taught before. You think of the various teachings that Zaltanna gave you on how to pray, but you're just not connecting with anything at all. It's just you muttering into an empty void. Sorry,
Okay.
dude.
That's fine.
All right, Balance, what are you up to, my man?
Balance is going to walk into the Torm Wing.
Okay. You walk past the giant statue of Torm. You walk into the thing at the back. It's mostly filled with various teachings of Torm, sort of like enlarged and beautifully like carved into the stone of this temple. You can see that there are clerics and paladins and the odd monk here, various humans and halflings, even an odd gnome, so you notice. You can see them all wandering around. You see there is a section at the back which has been partially closed off to the public, so it were, and you would assume that's where their sleeping quarters were. And you can see that there is a large oak double door at the other end of this wing.
Balance is going to pretend to, well, not really pretend. He's going to be like half paying attention to the teachings on the wall, make it look like he's trying to better educate himself, which isn't entirely wrong because that's what he does. But at the same time, he kind of wants to observe his surroundings and see, like, if anybody goes anywhere that seems out of place, any odd
Take an
conversations.
investigation for me.
All right.
Ooh, and odd conversations. Good to know.
12 investigation. Wow, I rolled a 5.
Being that Zaltanna has already clued you into the idea that there is something going on here, you spot those same inconsistencies on some of the followers here. They seem to be scuffled and hurt in ways that should have already been healed over, and they seem to be mostly making their way towards the back of this temple.
Is there anybody like that looks like they're guarding the door at the back of this temple? Like a bouncer kind of situation?
No, not really. I mean, there are a couple of paladins in the area, just need to be exchanging conversation, but they don't seem to be guarding the exits.
Do the paladins that are having the conversation look like they're having a conversation, or are they talking?
You want to know whether they are pretending to have a conversation or actually having a conversation.
Right. Because it's kind of like one thing that, like in the backstory, what his mom did with his dad, where she was talking, but like not really.
Yeah, she was like, yeah, honey, sure.
Yeah.
That sounds wonderful. Yeah. Go ahead, make an insight on them.
All right. I still have... Oh, no, I'm going to do Aura Sight.
Ooh.
13 Insight.
All right, so you look out to where these two paladins are, and they seem to be having a heated conversation. I mean, their kind of aura is kind of like reed red and maybe kind of like a fuchsia color. One of them more calm and interested than the other. The other seems to just be a hothead. You would deduce from that they are probably having a genuine conversation. Correction, they are either bickering or arguing.
Okay. Balance is going to do the age-old trick that both Talvin and his father taught him, and that is put on the I belong here face and just try to make his way where these people are going.
Okay. You walk your way along the length of this wing. No one seems to pay too much mind to you. I mean, you get the odd glance, the fact you are an elf wandering these halls. But other than the odd glance, they seem happy to let you pass. And you approach to where these two paladins are. And they turn and look at you. And the taller of the two, let's say human female, long darkish hair, having a conversation with a human male with short dark hair. She looks at you and she says, where do you think you're going?
My apologies. I'm new in town, and I was told this was the place to go for both worship to Torm as well as, to make a little bit of money on the side.
Oh, well, I'm awfully glad to hear of that. What you probably want to do is, perhaps you want to talk to one of our brothers here about getting yourself more educated on the ways of Torm.
I would be most happy to. Who would you recommend I speak to? Who's the proper one for this sort of thing?
Oh, you'd be looking for a brother Zach.
And where may I find brother Zach?
Hair. Oh, he's currently residing in the central chamber, I believe. That's the last that I saw him anyway.
Wonderful. I appreciate your information.
You're most welcome.
Blessings of Torm upon you.
And upon you. Good greetings.
Good greetings. And Balance is going to turn around and start walking towards the central chamber.
You hear both the paladins in their armor just take a few steps and stand more square in front of the door.
Hey, Valanda.
Hey.
Question.
Sure.
Would a visiting paladin of one of these gods be entitled to stay at the church, the temple?
Do you have an acolyte background?
No, I have a criminal background.
I'm shocked.
I know exactly what you were aiming for. There is a feature for acolyte, which I think means that you could stay anywhere like this, sir.
Yep.
But I don't have the acolyte background, but she was a member.
Yeah, she was. I'm going to say that you can attempt to ask for it.
Okay.
You can try.
All right.
It's not like a thing that, especially yourself, would be like, this is something that definitely happens for me. Because when you initially left your Temple of the Triad, you guys went off and did tiers of regulars. You weren't exactly traveling for tier alone and visiting various things. You went around and did good deeds.
Yeah.
So it's nothing you've experienced before, but it's something you've heard of.
Yeah. Okay. Just curious. I might do something, but I don't want to.
Yeah, that's fine. The two of you notice as Balance walks back in the room.
So?
Balance in the mental ink is going to say, there's definitely something going on back there. There were two paladins that stopped me at the door.
Gotcha. Zaltanna gets up and walks back towards the paladins.
Oh, no. Maybe I should do that?
No, dude.
They might know me.
I'm part of this church.
You're not part of the thing we're trying to get.
No, I know. I'm just an innocent paladin that's trying to stay at the church of the temple of the Triad because I don't have anywhere to stay. If all else if it fails, it fails.
Okay. And Rhal's just gonna wander around, looking around at shit.
Okay, I'm gonna get back to you. Remind me, I need you to make you do a thingy roll. Yep. Okay, Zaltanna, you head your way into Torm. You're familiar with all these images. You're familiar with all of these sites. You see the area at the back where you know that these clerics, paladins, and monks would be residing. And you also see this large double oak wooden door. And you see that there are two paladins, one a taller female human with darkish hair and a slightly shorter male human with darkish hair.
Right, okay. I'm going to look back to them with like a smile on my face and be like, hello, brother and sister.
Hello, you are a sister of Tyr.
I am. She, kind of shows off her, symbol of Tyr. Mm-hmm. And she's like, I'm a wanderer in these parts, and I don't really have anywhere to stay. And I know that sometimes, temples take in wandering paladins and clerics and such. And seeing as I am a member of the Church of the Triad, the Temple of the Triad, I was wondering if it would be possible for me to stay here tonight. You see, I don't have a lot of money.
Well, I can see I understand that you are clearly a traveller, and she kind of like tries to gesture to the fact that you're a dwarf without being really obvious about it. And she says, I think you'd probably have a bit more success if you were to go talk to the leader of Tyr, who resides here. You'd be looking for his sister Jess.
Oh, Sister Jess. Right.
Yes.
Isn't this where everybody stays?
No, this is just Torm.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
Tyr's wing you'll find just off of where Tyr's shrine is.
Understandable. Hold on. I'm thinking.
Uh-oh.
That's always dangerous.
Why do I feel like the bricks of this world are about to fall down?
No.
Do it.
Don't do it.
I don't know what you guys think that I'm gonna do.
Fuck everything up.
It's possible.
I don't know. Go after her, Rhal.
Look, I'm not that violent. Jesus.
You did murder that woman in cold blood once.
There were circumstances.
Yep, sure. The paladin just looks back at you and smiles awkwardly as if you've been there too long and has no idea what to say to you.
Can I make that roll real quick to see if I notice anything going on?
Zaltanna,
you can't see where she is.
Okay.
Zaltanna nods and she just goes, okay, thank you so much. Actually, do you mind if I ask you, I'm actually thinking about making a move here.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and I know that I'm not Torm. I know I'm Tia, but you guys, how long have you been paladins here?
Oh, my brother and I have been paladins here for, better part of 15 years now.
Oh my God. Wow.
Yes, we were here very, very young.
Yeah. How old were you when you started?
We were 8.
Oh, wow. Yeah, because I was going to say, you guys look really young. Are you guys like actually siblings or?
Yes, this is my brother. And he looks and nods and he says, yes, and all of my worth. She is my sister.
She puts out her hand and says, Anna.
Nice to meet you. And he takes your hand and gives it a good shake, as does she. You are looking to settle here in Vanlas?
Yeah, actually, I'm thinking about it. It's a really nice city, and honestly, I'm looking for somewhere where maybe I can be. I know that I'm. Look, I know I'm a dwarf. I know I'm not normal here. She like gives a small smile, and she's like, but I don't want to get political, but I believe in peace, and I feel like maybe I can help bring that around by moving down here, settling, helping out with the church here, maybe getting people to see that not all dwarves are weird, terrible people.
take a deception roll for me.
I'm
Oh,
good.
boy.
I want to say I'm
Oh,
good
boy.
at this because I actually have really good charisma, but I don't know if this
Shitty.
is
You're a
not going to work
paladin.
well for me. oh my god.
Oh,
Natural 20 for a 23.
Fuck you, roll 20. Fuck you.
I am happy and terrified by this roll. Sure. She looks down at you, and she says, "Oh, well, of course. We're all about providing peace and justice and honor here, and helping out those less fortunate than ourselves.
Yeah.
Of course. I mean, you just need to go find Sister Jess.
Yeah. Well-
And then I'll take you to her myself.
Oh my god. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that.
You're most welcome." And she gestures for her brother, and they both escort you from this wing. Technically leaving the way free, because I think that's where this needs to go.
Yeah. And as they're
For all but
escorting
the
her,
briefest of moments.
in her mind, Zaltanna just says to the guys, "You guys got to have more faith in me. Go."
You hear that in your mind.
Balance replies, "Faith is your thing. I'll stick to the facts. Thank you."
And just as you say that, you see the two paladins that you encountered earlier walking with Zaltanna into the central section and crossing the main center of the temple into where you assumed his wing is.
As soon as they are out of sight, Balance is gonna ping Rhal, be like, "Come on, let's go." If I go by myself, it's going to seem shady. If I take you along, then I could just say I was bringing you along with.
stay next to me. No, I'm telling you guys, I think that they might know who I am.
Well, we'll see. Follow me.
It doesn't matter. We don't have a lot of time.
All right, we're going. We're going. Balance the roll.
All right.
We're going. Good cop,
Balance
bad
and
cop.
roll. Good cop.
Just kind of
Sort of
acting
cop.
natural.
Good cop, anxiety
Yeah.
cop.
Walking
Yep.
side by side, acting like nothing's wrong.
Oh my
Not
god.
shady at all.
You two. Yes, you two walk your way through. I don't need you to make a perception check now. You two make your way through this wing. You get to the double doors. You notice that paladins aren't standing there arguing one another or standing in the way, and you just pass through to the outside. Now I need Rhal to make a perception check or an investigation check.
Perception.
Go for it.
Ooh. For a 6.
You step out into the back side of this church. There are a couple of trees here. You can see there are a couple of benches. Looking around, it's fairly obvious that there is a couple of storm cellars here and there that seem to go below the church. That's all you see, my man.
Okay. Well,
This is peculiar. Door is closed behind us, right?
Yes.
Okay.
it's underground, so.
Well,
probably
the question
check
is,
these
which one are we
cellars.
going?
Look for the symbol.
What symbol? You've never told me there was a symbol.
Well, I don't know that I have to tell these things. I forget. There is a symbol. Looks like, what is it? Is square? It's like 2 squares that make a circle or something.
4 lines that create two circles, one inside the other. A bit more
4
oval than circular.
Okay.
You get that. There are 4 lines that create 2 circles, one inside the other.
It's like 4 lines that create 2 circles inside one another.
Okay, all right. I think I have it. And Balance does like a little minor illusion. Balance does like a little minor illusion of like how he pictures it. Is this it?
Yeah, that's it.
All right. All right. Balance is going to try to see if there are any hidden symbols of this hidden anywhere around.
You can also make a perception or investigation.
All right. I give you 2 guesses which one I'm doing. Too late.
Intimidation.
15. Investigation.
It takes a little moment. You don't find it instantly. Rhal is kind of not really helping, and you figure after a while you actually need to check over what he's checked already. And you find this symbol kind of engraved onto one of these storm cellar entrances. However, you do also notice that there are in this kind of garden area, as you kind of like notice this, you notice that there are a couple of monks that are training nearby that seem to be moving around, kind of paying you some vague attention.
Okay. Balance is just going to say mentally, Rhal, it's here. Pretend like we belong here so you can open the door and we can go down.
Sure. Rhal walks up, opens the door, and like gestures for Balance to go inside and follows him, shuts the door behind him.
Hey everybody, Zaltanna here. I don't know exactly how comfortable I am with the fighting arena under my church of my god, but I guess we'll see how that all turns out next week. As always, thank you for listening. Please remember to rate and review on whatever, weird thing you're listening to the podcast on, iTunes, Stitcher. We're on Spotify now, whatever. If you're listening to us on a coconut radio, who knows? As always, you can also find us on Twitter at TLDpod. The cast members' individual Twitters are listed on at TLDpod. Website is theluckydie.com. The network website is thespac.network. Don't forget to check out our sister podcasts, Taking Initiative and Nerds on a Roll. And I think that's about it. Oh, Facebook. Follow us on Facebook, The Lucky Die Podcast. Yeah. All right, that's about it. I'll see you all in the next episode. And peace.
The
Spot Network. Imagine what your idea can do.